It was 2:37 a.m. A 17-year-old girl lay in bed, scrolling through Instagram. One photo caught her eye, her best friends out together. Without her, her stomach sank. She couldn't sleep. The next morning, she skipped breakfast. Her chest was tight. She couldn't focus in school. She didn't know it then, but she had just entered the early stages of digital-induced anxiety. In today's hyperconnected world, screens are our constant companions. But what is this doing to our mental health? Today, let's explore the scientific link between screen time and increasing rates of anxiety and depression, and why it matters for each one of us. What is screen time really? Screen time is simply the amount of time you spend in front of digital screens, your phone, laptop, tablet, or even the good old television. And let's be honest, for most of us, that time adds up fast. But not all screen time is the same. In fact, it falls into a few different categories. Passive screen time is when you're just scrolling, social media, YouTube, Reels, whatever. You're not really engaging, just absorbing. Active screen time is more hands-on. Think video calls, chatting, typing, you're interacting and using your brain more. Then there's recreational screen time, like watching a movie, gaming, or binging a series. It's all about entertainment. And finally, there's productive screen time, where you're using your device to learn, create, or work. Like taking an online course or writing a report. Here's the shocking part. The average adult now spends over 7 hours a day in front of screens. And for teenagers, it can go well over 9 hours a day. That's more than a full night's sleep. No wonder our brains and bodies are starting to feel the effects. Let's talk about what's happening inside your brain when you're glued to a screen. Have you ever gotten that little rush when you hear a notification ping? It's not just in your head, there's actual science behind it. Every time your phone buzzes or you get a new like, your brain gets a tiny burst of dopamine, the same chemical that gets triggered by things like gambling or even eating sugary foods. Pretty wild, right? In fact, a study by Harvard Medical School back in 2018 found that social media stimulates the same brain areas as addictive substances. So, if you're constantly checking your phone, your brain's reward system is in overdrive. But here's the catch: when we overload our reward circuitry, it dulls the brain's ability to experience pleasure from everyday activities. Suddenly, ordinary life starts to feel a little boring. You know that feeling when you're craving something, but nothing seems to satisfy it? That's your brain's reward system getting overwhelmed. And then there's the sleep issue. The blue light emitted from screens? It messes with your melatonin levels, the hormone that helps you sleep. The result? You're tossing and turning all night, struggling to get quality rest. According to the Sleep Foundation in 2021, this disrupted sleep cycle can have a huge impact on your mood. If you're not getting enough sleep, it can make you more irritable, leave you with a low mood, and make it way harder to cope with stress. And here's where it gets personal. Let me share the story of a girl I know. At first, she seemed fine. But soon, she started feeling drained even after a full 8 hours of sleep. Her mind raced at night, and she became more emotional. Her parents thought it was just teen hormones, but in reality, it was her screen habits slowly rewiring her brain and impacting her mental health. This is happening more than we realize. Let's take a deeper look at social media. On the surface, it feels fun and harmless, scrolling through posts, sharing selfies, watching reels. But underneath, something more serious might be happening, especially in young minds. Studies are sounding the alarm. A 2019 study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that teens who spent more than 3 hours a day on social media had a 60% higher risk of developing depression. That's huge. Another study in The Lancet the same year backed this up, showing that heavy screen use, especially social media, was linked to lower emotional well-being and self-esteem in adolescence. But why is this happening? Let's talk about social comparison. When you scroll through Instagram or TikTok, what do you see? Perfect photos, dream vacations, flawless skin. Everyone seems happy, successful, beautiful. But remember, these are highly curated moments, often filtered and staged. Still, our brains can't help but compare. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. And he was right. The more we compare, the worse we feel. Then there's FOMO, the fear of missing out. You see your friends hanging out without you. Someone's at a concert, someone's on a beach, someone just got engaged. Even if you're doing okay, suddenly it feels like you're missing out on life. And we can't ignore the darker side, cyberbullying. According to the CDC in 2021, 1 in 3 teens reported being bullied online. That's not just teasing, It can be relentless, cruel, and deeply damaging. Now back to the story we've been following. Our girl starts falling into the trap. She begins comparing herself to influencers, people with perfect lighting, edited faces, and massive followings. She starts editing her own photos, picking the right filter, waiting for likes as if her worth depends on it. But when the likes are fewer than expected, doubt creeps in. Am I not pretty enough? Not interesting enough? She wonders. She starts to feel invisible. And this isn't just a bad mood, it's something deeper. It's that slow, quiet pull of depression settling in. And it's happening to more people than we realize. Now here's the strange part, the isolation paradox. We're more connected than ever. We can message someone across the world in seconds, post photos for hundreds to see, and join a group chat instantly. But somehow, we're lonelier than ever. A study from the American Journal of Preventive Medicine in 2017 found that people who used social media heavily were 3 times more likely to feel socially isolated. 3 times. But why is that? It's because these digital interactions, likes, emojis, comments, they often replace real conversations. Instead of having deep, meaningful chats, we get stuck in shallow loops of reacting and scrolling. And over time, it chips away at our ability to connect in real life. We make less eye contact. We miss emotional cues. Empathy fades just a little. The result? A growing sense of distance, even when we're together. And it doesn't happen all at once, it's subtle. You start feeling less motivated to go out. You avoid phone calls. You'd rather get a fire emoji on your story than hear a friend say, "Hey, I missed you." It feels easier, safer, but it also leaves us more isolated than we realize. Now let's talk about something we all experience but rarely talk about: information overload. Every day, we're bombarded with notifications, messages, breaking news alerts, DMs, and endless content. Our brains were not designed to process this much input 24/7. This leads to what scientists call cognitive overload, basically, too much incoming data, and your brain gets stressed just trying to keep up. A Yale study from 2020 found that people exposed to constant, especially negative, news experienced sharp increases in anxiety. And honestly, it's not surprising. Let's check back in on our protagonist. She's in class, but she can't focus. Her phone buzzes again, and she can't resist. She's checking it over 100 times a day. Every ping makes her alert. Every silence makes her uneasy. And when her phone isn't nearby, she panics. That's not just habit anymore, it's something called nomophobia, the fear of being without your phone. Her anxiety isn't just emotional now, it's neurological. Her brain is in a state of constant hypervigilance, always scanning, always expecting something. And that, over time, takes a serious toll. Let's be honest, screens are everywhere. And they're not going anywhere. But if we're not careful, they can quietly take over how we sleep, think, and connect. So what can families do to take back control, without turning it into a fight? First step, understand this isn't just a teen problem. Screen overuse affects everyone, parents included. Instead of blame, start with honest conversations. Not, "You're always on your phone," but, "Hey, I've been feeling glued to my screen too. Want to figure this out together?" Second step, science says that using screens before bed messes with melatonin, the hormone that helps us sleep. That's why avoiding screens at least 1 hour before bedtime makes a real difference. Try making it a house rule: no phones after a certain time. And the key? Everyone follows it: teens, parents, even younger kids. When you're bored, stressed, or anxious, it's easy to grab a screen. But what your brain actually craves is movement. Exercise. Even just a quick walk releases serotonin and endorphins. They lift your mood and boost focus. Parents, model it. Teens, join in. A walk, a dance, a bike ride, it all counts. Humans need real connection, not just messages or emojis, actual face-to-face time. Encourage offline friendships. Support time with friends, family, and community. And don't forget your own relationships too. Connection is a two-way street. Try a digital detox day. Digital detoxes don't have to be dramatic. Try one screen-free day a week, like a no-screen Sunday. Cook together, play a game, go outside. Let your teen help plan it, make it something to look forward to, not just a rule. Progress over perfection. At the end of the day, this isn't about perfection. It's about noticing the habits, making small changes, and supporting each other. When families work together without judgment, they make room for better sleep, better moods, deeper connections, and more life outside the screen. Let's break the cycle together. Back to our girl. With her therapist's help, she reduced her screen time from 9 hours to 4. She kept a journal, picked up painting, and reconnected with old friends. It wasn't easy, but slowly, the fog lifted. Screens are powerful tools, but when we let them control our minds, they begin to shape our emotions, behaviors, and lives. You can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. Sometimes, the first step to peace is putting down the phone.